All right, and look at this. We got Baldy. Today is Giants on Baldy's World Tour. Today is the Giants. Baldy straight from the Hall of Fame game. What was it like last night before the storms came?
It was wild. It was wild. I mean, obviously, Houston is a team that's getting a lot of buzz, and you're around D'Amico Ryans and those guys. So, the teams, out there watching Caleb Williams, throwing to Keenan Allen and Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. So you're talking to personnel people. But honestly, like I sat down last night with Dwight Freeney, Julius Peppers, Edgerrin James joined us yesterday.
Wow.
Leroy Butler. Like, we must have talked to probably six Hall of Famers yesterday. And that's the goal of every player, is to end up in the Hall of Fame. And these guys were just so humble, so good with their time, and just so looking forward to joining that new fraternity of guys in the Hall.
It was funny. I was watching Devin Hester and some of the guys, and I was so proud. Like they echoed what you just said. Like this group of inductees, they're excited, and I think it's great. I think it's beautiful for the sport, and I can only imagine you being in your glory.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Devin Hester, he's the first returner to ever go in. And he thought, they were telling him, like, you're going to get in. He waited 2 years before he got in. And sometimes players get upset about it. Sometimes, they're just thankful. But he was great. He was great yesterday. Edgerrin James was awesome. He was there to support Dwight Freeney. He was going in. And then you find out that Dwight Freeney and Edge were roommates, like through training camp, on the road. Like, they're besties. They both have old cars that they fix up, and they share that hobby together. To see Pep, who played, I don't know, 18 years, and just to see him and get his due, it was cool, cuz it was really cool.
What'd you think of the kickoffs?
Well, so I watched it last night. Everybody's talking about it, cuz it was a little vanilla last night. No, and just talking to both teams, that they just wanted to kind of just put it on tape. They didn't try to do anything that they might do during the season. But honestly, I hear so much about it. In fact, it was interesting. The officials, they're not even sure yet how they're going to officiate the play, where they're going to stand, their positioning. So they talked about it in the offseason, but how they talk about it and how it gets done might change. And so, because nobody can move until the ball's kicked, until the ball's touched. So, that's a lot. That's 20 guys you got to watch to see if anybody moves early. And so it's still a work in progress, but there's defense coordinators that are telling me that they're deathly scared of putting their defense out there on the 40-yard line, time and time again, and just giving up field position. So everybody is sort of looking at this thing differently, but you see everybody working on it in every single camp I go to.
Do you like it? Are you in favor of the change, or is it a work in progress?
It looks awkward and it looks gimmicky right now, but it's better than kicking the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah.
If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, Harrison Butker is kicking out of the end zone every time. So, Dave Tobe is Andy's special teams coach, been there forever. He's the guy that, you look at John Harbaugh and some of these guys that are special team guys, they're going to find a way to work it to their advantage. I talked to Devin Hester about it. He's like, I'll be dancing in the paint in this thing right now. Like, make one guy miss, and you might get a nice runway to the end zone just because everybody is so stacked close together.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like you could see that if you break it, like if you get any kind of space, you just don't have that support coming up the field, and that's the scary thing. Like you almost need to have safeties play back, drop back to guard against that.
But still, it's a lot of space, and you don't want the kicker getting involved. Kickers get involved in tackles, guys get hurt. But I've seen Austin Eckler in Washington taking reps. I've seen wide receivers taking reps. I see a variety of different type of players. I've seen teams run running plays like traps on the return. So you're going to see a variety. Yesterday we just saw kind of some lob kicks, but we might see some squibs. We might see, we can't really squib it, but you could see some line drives that are going to land in the landing zone. You might see teams, even Kansas City even has worked this out a little bit. You might see non-kickers make this play, just to get 11 tacklers on the field and not put your kicker in harm's way.
Yeah, that's something that's interesting. Real quick, couple things. Jacksonville, you sat with Dougie and Trevor Lawrence. What's the feeling down there? Obviously, a very important season for those two.
Well, you go back, you talk to Doug. Week 18, they're playing in Tennessee to win the division. Now they're collapsing, like down the stretch. But if they win and they beat a bad Tennessee team, they win the division. They're in the playoffs. They were down the 1 yard line. They didn't score, and Houston wins it. And they're the darlings of the league right now. So Doug's all right, but they got a new center, Mitch Morse. They're trying to upgrade the offensive line. They want to run the ball better. Trevor's got a bunch of new weapons, but I was around Trevor when he was a rookie with Urban Meyer, and now I'm around Trevor now. It's like, you watch these kids grow up, cuz the maturity, the comfort level, sitting down doing an interview, they're relaxed. They're he got his contract this year. Said the best part of it was signing it and getting it done so he can get to work. He's just in a better spot. But, Christian Kirk, you got to keep him healthy. He makes a difference. Evan Ingram is good. They signed Gabe Davis from the Buffalo Bills. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr. They got to get these new guys like some timing here, and where Trevor can really trust these guys. And I think if they do that and run the ball better, I think they're going to be pretty good, because I think defensively they could be very good.
So today you're at the Giants. You're going to be sitting with Brian Daboll at some point. What have you gleaned about the Giants thus far?
Well, Malik Neighbors is the talk of camp, and like we thought he would be. And so Daniel Jones is back; he's healthy. They've got a full contact practice today. Like, he'll be out there taking the snaps. It's his job. He's 9 months off of a torn ACL, but he looks good right now. Probably won't play much in preseason. But Jalen Hyatt's making a jump, rookie from Tennessee a year ago. Wan'Dale Robinson. They've got some weapons to throw the ball to. They're still trying to fix their offensive line. The right tackle, Evan Neal, hasn't practiced yet. So they just signed this Greg Van Roten, who played 17 games for the Raiders last year. They signed the Raiders offensive line coach, Carmen Brasillo. He's working these guys out. If they get the offensive line together, I think defensively they have a chance to be pretty good. Brian Burns is a dynamic person and a dynamic player. He brings a lot of juice. So it's about the offense catching up. And today they're in full pads. It's 90 degrees heat here. Like, you're going to get a good look at a lot of these guys right now.
It's the worst thing. And this has been the tribute to the Eagles. The worst thing is actually going when your O-line is a work in progress, especially since you got question mark at quarterback. It just makes you nervous, man, because it's such a cliche, but it starts from up there. And the Eagles having that stability up front for all those years is just the key to contention. That's it, man. You want to be a contender, you better make sure that line works.
I can't agree with you anymore. And you go around the league, Cincinnati feels really good about what they have. This Amarius Mims is he's just a giant out there.
Yeah.
They feel good about what they have there. Tampa Bay, they drafted a center, Graham Barton. Like, they feel like this could be the year that they can run the ball. I think Tampa's going to be quietly a very, very good team. Todd Bowles really has the pulse of that team. They got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent that is they're excited about. But you go across the league, like, either you have an offensive line, you're trying to put one together, or it's a strength. But everybody is trying to get there right now. Some teams do it better than others, a team like the Eagles.
Yeah, I got it. I love it. Baldy, Giants today, then where you at?
I'm heading to Buffalo, and then I'm going up. The Houston Texans are staying in Ohio, and I'm going to watch them practice a couple days up there, and then I'm heading to this Jets-Washington scrimmage up in Florham Park this week.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's football season, Baldy. It's August.
It's football Friday. It's football Friday, cuz. So here we are. Like, I'm going right out there on the field. Going to go watch Mike Kafka call some plays right now. Watch this offensive line go up against, see if anybody can block Kayvon Thibodeau or Brian Burns right now.
I love it. All right. Be safe with your travels. Stay cool. All right. We love you, Baldy.
Yeah. Thanks, cuz. I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All City like the mayor.